In 2008, the United States Air Force officially retired the F-117 Nighthawk, the world's first operational stealth aircraft. Its story was supposed to be over. But civilian photographers kept capturing unmistakable angular silhouettes over the Nevada desert years after the final flight was announced. The Air Force eventually confirmed some were still airworthy. What they haven't fully explained is why, and the answer reaches back to the Cold War program that built it. In the late 1970s, US military planners faced a problem that seemed unsolvable. Soviet air defenses, especially the SA-2 Guideline and SA-5 Gammon missile systems, blanketed huge stretches of Eastern Europe and Asia. These networks could detect and destroy high-flying bombers long before they reached their targets. Traditional aircraft, no matter how fast or maneuverable, were simply too easy to spot. The answer arrived from Lockheed's Skunk Works in the form of an aircraft unlike anything before it. The F-117 Nighthawk, shaped by the mathematics of Soviet physicist Pyotr Ufimtsev and realized by Dennis Overholser's radar modeling, was designed to be nearly invisible to radar. Its faceted surfaces and radar-absorbing coatings allowed it to slip past the most advanced sensors of the era. When it entered service, the F-117 became the world's first operational stealth aircraft, a tool that upended decades of air combat doctrine. For the first time, survivability wasn't about speed or altitude, but about vanishing from the enemy's screens altogether. This leap didn't just challenge Soviet defenses, it changed the entire trajectory of military aviation. Lockheed's Have Blue program began in 1975, hidden behind layers of Cold War secrecy. At its heart was a radical idea. Instead of outrunning Soviet radar, an aircraft could avoid it altogether. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source, a 1962 paper by Soviet physicist Pyotr Ufimtsev, which showed that radar waves scatter from an object's edges, not its surface. Dennis Overholser, an electrical engineer at Skunk Works, translated Ufimtsev's dense equations and built ECHO-1, a computer model that could predict how angular shapes would reflect radar. The result was the so-called hopeless diamond, a design so faceted and unnatural that even Lockheed's own engineers doubted it could fly. Ben Rich, who led Skunk Works after Kelly Johnson, famously warned, "Don't spend it until you see the damn thing fly." Have Blue's first prototype took off from Groom Lake on December 1, 1977, its surfaces coated in iron ball radar-absorbent material. Stability came from a fly-by-wire system, compensating for an airframe that was aerodynamically unstable by design. Every component, every test flight, and every shipment to Area 51 traveled under the cover of civilian Janet flights, unmarked aircraft running from Las Vegas to the desert, ensuring the project remained invisible to the outside world. In this closed ecosystem, secrecy was as vital as the technology itself. Combat turned the F-117 from a secret project into a legend. Its first operational use came over Panama in December 1989, when two Nighthawks struck critical command centers with precision-guided bombs. The mission proved that a stealth aircraft could hit high-value targets while staying almost invisible to enemy radar. Just over a year later, the F-117's defining moment arrived in the skies over Iraq. During Operation Desert Storm in 1991, Nighthawks flew more than 1,000 sorties, striking over 40% of Iraq's fixed strategic targets, all without a single combat loss. The aircraft's ability to bypass dense air defenses and deliver pinpoint strikes reshaped air campaign planning for decades. But the myth of invulnerability did not last forever. In March 1999, during the Kosovo conflict, Serbian forces managed to bring down an F-117 with a surface-to-air missile, the only combat loss the type has ever suffered. The pilot survived, and the event forced a reassessment of stealth as an absolute shield. Despite this, the Nighthawk returned to combat in 2003 during the Iraq invasion, once again targeting fortified sites deep within hostile territory. By the late 2000s, the F-117's days as a frontline weapon were numbered. Its small payload and single-role design could not compete with the new generation of multi-role stealth fighters like the F-22 Raptor. Rising maintenance costs and aging systems added to the pressure. In April 2008, the Air Force officially began retiring the fleet, storing most airframes and declaring the era of the Nighthawk over. For most observers, this was the end of the story, a museum piece, its secrets locked away. Strange reports started to surface not long after the F-117's retirement. In the open skies over Nevada and California, aviation enthusiasts began to notice a familiar angular silhouette, one that matched the Nighthawk's unmistakable shape. Civilian photographers captured images of dark, faceted aircraft banking above the desert, their outlines impossible to confuse with any other jet. At first, these sightings seemed like isolated incidents, but as more photos and eyewitness accounts accumulated, a pattern emerged. Most appearances clustered near the restricted airspace of the Nevada Test and Training Range and the Tonopah Test Range, both sites long associated with classified flight activity. Online forums and spotter networks tracked these movements, piecing together flight paths and timing. Yet the usual tools of modern aviation sleuthing, public transponder data, and open-source flight logs offered little. The aircraft never appeared on civilian tracking services, their transponders either switched off or operating in military-only modes. Despite the official line that the F-117 was retired, the Air Force quietly acknowledged that a small number remained airworthy for limited research and training. These rare admissions only deepened the mystery, fueling speculation about why the world's first stealth jet was still taking to the air. Official statements after 2008 described the F-117's remaining flights as limited research and training, but the reasoning behind keeping a handful of these aircraft airworthy runs deeper. Instead of mothballing every Nighthawk, the Air Force quietly preserved a small fleet, typically fewer than a dozen jets, at Tonopah Test Range. This decision provided a rare real-world stealth adversary for advanced pilot training. Unlike modern F-22s or F-35s, the F-117 offers a known radar cross-section and flight profile, making it the perfect stealth aggressor for exercises designed to sharpen detection skills and simulate enemy stealth threats. Beyond training, the Nighthawk's unique shape and coatings serve as a benchmark for radar and sensor development. Engineers working on next-generation detection systems rely on the F-117's well-documented radar signature to test new algorithms and hardware in live conditions, something lab simulations can't fully replicate. The aircraft also acts as a flying test bed for evaluating new weapons and operational concepts, allowing researchers to isolate the effects of low observability on everything from targeting to electronic warfare. While open records confirm these roles only in broad terms, the pattern of sightings, budget references to adversary support, and rare Air Force admissions all point toward a deliberate strategy. Keep the F-117 flying, not as a relic, but as a tool for research, training, and technological progress. Keeping a fleet of F-117s operational after retirement demands more than just spare parts and periodic flights. Specialized crews at Tonopah Test Range have continued to maintain and upgrade these aircraft, even as most of the world believes them confined to museums. Recent images and FAA filings suggest that some Nighthawks have received new communication systems and cockpit displays, modifications that point to ongoing modernization. These updates likely include secure data links and advanced avionics, enabling the jets to connect with modern command networks and potentially serve as test beds for electronic warfare or sensor fusion technologies. The expertise required to keep the F-117 flying is not easily replaced. Many of the engineers and pilots who worked on these jets during their prime still contribute their knowledge, helping to train new generations of stealth tacticians. Their experience feeds directly into programs like the F-35 and B-2, offering valuable lessons in low observable operations, maintenance, and tactics. While the exact missions of the post-retirement Nighthawks remain classified, open-source evidence supports the idea that these aircraft are more than relics. They are active tools for advancing stealth technology and training, bridging the gap between past breakthroughs and future capabilities. Tonopah Test Range Airport in Nevada remains the central hub for the F-117's continued operations. Satellite imagery and FAA filings indicate that a small number of these jets are kept in flyable condition, separated from those sent to museums or long-term storage. Observers have documented only a handful of active airframes, often fewer than a dozen, while the rest are preserved in climate-controlled hangars. Public appearances are rare, limited to controlled airspace and special training events. The decision to store these aircraft in a ready-to-fly state, rather than fully retiring or scrapping them, points to a deliberate and ongoing commitment to their upkeep. Much about the F-117's present-day role remains out of reach. Decades after its debut, the Air Force continues to keep many details classified. Flight logs, budgets, and even the identities of active crews are shielded from public view. Official statements offer only vague references to limited research and training, leaving a wide gap between what can be proven and what is rumored online. This secrecy is not new. It echoes the strict compartmentalization that governed the aircraft's origins at Skunk Works during the Cold War. The result is a persistent information vacuum, where fact and speculation blur. Careful examination of open records, rare admissions, and credible sightings is the only way to separate what is known from what is merely guessed. The F-117's continued presence in the skies is not a matter of nostalgia, but a deliberate choice rooted in its unique utility. As a research and training asset, the Nighthawk offers a proven, well-understood stealth profile, critical for testing radar systems and developing tactics against low observable threats. Its flights provide engineers and pilots with a living benchmark, allowing them to validate new detection techniques and refine electronic warfare tools. The same data informs the design and development of future platforms like the B-21 Raider and the next-generation air dominance program. By keeping a handful of these jets airworthy, the Air Force preserves a rare capability, a real-world, operational stealth aircraft available for experimentation, training, and technical progress. Retirement, in this context, has meant transition rather than disappearance, ensuring that the lessons of the F-117 continue to shape the future of military aviation. Decades after its retirement, the F-117 quietly shapes the next generation of stealth technology. Its ongoing flights are reminders that in aerospace innovation, yesterday's secrets fuel tomorrow's advances. In a world where the line between obsolete and essential blurs, some shadows refuse to fade. What do you think?